Hey guys, Josh here with Josh and Hunter's Adventures, and welcome back to another episode. Today's video, we're going to be talking about how to spool braided line on a spinning reel. We've had a couple different videos on various different bait casters and then spinning reels, but I've never went over braid. So I want to talk to you guys a little bit on how to spool braid on a spinning reel. If this is your first time visiting our channel, please go down and hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell. That way you know when we put out videos. Alright, so what we've got here today is a Daiwa Revros and a 2500. We're going to be spooling it on one of these spooling stations that I have here that are super handy. If you don't have one of these, be sure to try and get you one. So spooling braided line on a spinning reel is a little bit different than just putting regular, like say, monofilament on your reel. For one, the best thing to do, and I'm going to show you how to do that, is we got to put like a backing on there. So basically, if you don't put a backing on there, your braided line will slip on the spool itself. So what I'm going to be using today for my backing is just some 4-pound line. Just anything that you have spare that you can use as a backing. Like what I'm saying as backing is you just need to get a little bit on there to get it started, and then you'll attach your braid to it and then put your braided line on. The braid that we're going to be using today is Yozuri Super Braid in 20-pound test. It is the yellow. I like the yellow. We will be using a leader. I like to use a fluorocarbon leader. Don't be afraid about buying bright colors, because the fish will never see it. You're going to be tying like a 6-foot leader on there. So let's go ahead and get started on how to tie our backing on first. Alright, so I'm here at the spooling station, and if any of you have watched any of my previous line spooling videos, you've seen me using this. But if you do not have one of these, I'm going to show you the easiest way to do this. So if you look right here, and you see that the bell, you can see here, is turning counterclockwise. So that's putting the line on there counterclockwise on the actual spool. So if you don't have one of these, what I would recommend doing is you'll take your spool, your line, and you'll set it down. You want that line to come off the same way that the reel is turning, okay? So counterclockwise, and obviously this line would be coming off counterclockwise. But since I'm using this spooling station, I've had really good luck with just feeding it straight off the top, and I haven't had any issues at all in a lot of years that I've been using this. But this, like I said, is the backing that we're going to be using. And again, for braid, you have to use a backing, because if you don't, the braid will slip on the actual spool of the reel. So what I'm going to show you is how I attach the backing. Let's see, let's get this. And you don't need a lot. Like I said, it's just enough to allow the line to actually grip on the spool, and then you just attach your braid. So you'll put it down in this little reel seat that it has right here. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to flip your bell over, and you're going to tie 2 overhand knots is all I do. I tie 2 overhand knots. I don't get crazy with my knots when I'm tying the backing on right here. There's 1, and make it 2, and just cinch it down, and then we will cut the tag end, and then flip our bell over, and we will start reeling in our backing. Again, it's just enough to cover just the actual spool. I'll show you here. So just going to cover the spool up just to get traction for the braid to grab a hold to. Doesn't take much. Again, this spool is not very deep, so you don't want to put a lot of line on there. And that looks pretty good right there. I'm going to try to show you in the camera about how much I have on there. It's not a lot, you can see. So now we're ready to start putting the braid on. I'm going to show you how to tie your braid on. Alright, so again, make sure your line is coming. If you have one of these spooling stations, make sure it's coming off the top. It's the way I've always done it, and I've had really good luck that way. Okay, so now we're going to attach the braided line to the backing line, and the way that we're going to do that is we're going to tie an Albright knot. So I'm going to show you guys how I tie it. Again, if you want to see this in more detail, please leave me a comment down below. I'll be glad to make another video on showing you how to do that. But basically what you have is you have a loop here, and then you have your braided line. You stick the line through, the braided line through, and you're going to wrap it about 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and then we're going to go back through the same hole, the same way that the braid went through the first time. I'll give it a little lick and cinch it down, and there it is. Now we will cut the tag ends. Be sure not to cut the wrong tag end, or you'll be tying it again. All right. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to now start putting the braid on the actual reel here. Get it started there just a little bit. Okay, now we've got the slack out of it. So again, what we're going to do is we're just going to, I've got tension on the spool right here. I'm just going to start applying. And we're just going to keep putting the line on there till we get it to where we want it. And I'm going to show you guys where I like to run the braid at. You don't want to over spool your reels. That's one of the biggest mistakes that I see, and you can see I've timed this one just about right. We are almost about out on this one. I normally get about 2 spools of braid per spinning reel, so you can see where we're at here, and I'll get a little closer video of it, of where we're at, and once I get down to the end, we are done. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys about how close I normally run my braid, because if you don't do it this way, that line is going to jump off there like crazy. Okay, if you overdo it, I mean, you're just going to have a crazy mess. That line will really jump off the spool, and it will cause you to have a bad day. But you can see there, there's actually like a little line right there on that. You can almost see it just a little bit, but that's where it's at. And that's about how much I like to put on there. Again, if you don't do that, it will cause you to have what some people call it wind knots on spinning reels. But yeah, really there's not any really different other than the backing. You need to run backing on for your spinning reels on your braid. Alright guys, so I've got it all spooled up here. I'm going to put it on a rod and probably go fishing with it tomorrow and see if I can catch big old smallmouth with it maybe. But I appreciate you guys watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, if you want to see more about the knot that I tied, again, it's called an Albright knot. I'll be glad to make a video and show you exactly how I do it in more in-depth detail. But as always, guys, I appreciate you watching. Thank you to all my subscribers. If you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. If this is your first time visiting our channel, please go down, hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell. That way you know when we put out videos. Till next time, guys, thanks for watching. This is Josh with Josh and Hunter's Adventures.